Hey, this morning I woke up with some news, and there are 3 new products released by UniFi, and that's Dream Router 7, UniFi Express 7 and Cloud Gateway Fiber. So let's have a look. What is this all about? You probably remember something called Dream Machine, what UniFi used to have. Everyone used to love this because it was first of the routers that came out with a modern, stylish look. And it used to be Wi-Fi 5. Also, the price tag, $299, seemed to be pretty high. At that point, it had VPA2 encryption and it had quad-core ARM 1.7. So what they have just released is a Dream Router 7. So this is not Wi-Fi 5, this is Wi-Fi 7 router. Much faster. And the price tag is actually slightly slower than the old Wi-Fi 5 model, $279. So what are the extras that you get with this router? So as you can see, it has a display on the front, so you can actually see what is the current speed, input, output. There are also a few extras that you get with this router. So instead of having just 4 ports, now these all 4 ports will be 2.5 gigabit. And if that wasn't enough, you also get 10 gigabit SFP optical port at the bottom of these RJ45 ports. So you could connect this to UNAS Pro, for example, which has 10 gigabit connection. So everyone can share this bandwidth and the speed of the NAS. But there is a little extra they have added to this router, and it's microSD card. With this Dream Machine, you can not only have a switch capabilities, but you can also have your surveillance solution. So if you put this SD card, this is where all the surveillance will be stored on. So now you got storage on this thing. It's perfect. By default, you already get 64 gig stick, but if you want, you can upgrade that memory with any capacity you want. So just to summarize, what's the difference between UniFi Dream Machine and UniFi Dream Router 7 is obviously Wi-Fi 7 instead of Wi-Fi 5. You get 3-band support, 2.4, 5 and 6 gigahertz. So obviously 2.4 to connect your smart watches, some smart IoT devices, things like that that work on slower frequency to save the power. Then you can also connect your Wi-Fi 5 devices that has 5 gigahertz frequency, and you can connect through 6 gigahertz, which is going to be your Wi-Fi 6E or Wi-Fi 7 to get the most of the speed. And when we talk about speed, it's massive 5.7 gigabits per second speed, faster than your Ethernet. You also get multi-gig WAN and LAN, which means you can do some load balancing. If you have 2 internet providers, you can balance between those 2. And obviously you can have 2.5 gigabit LAN devices connected, your laptops or other devices or NASes. And you also get 1 PoE slot, which will allow you to connect PoE cameras. Or maybe you will choose to connect a switch through this PoE port. So basically, this port will power the device that supports powering via the LAN. Obviously, with the new router, you also get better security, layer 7 firewall and so on. Also better VPN support compared to this old Dream Machine. And as I mentioned, you also get this 64 gigabyte microSD card included, so you can record your surveillance footage on this router directly. You also get 1 extra gigabyte of RAM. You used to have 2 gigabytes on this old Dream Machine. And also need to mention that this particular router has it all. They basically decided to have all functionality that UniFi offers to just allow it on this one router. So that includes UniFi Access, Talk and Connect supported on this router. And as I said, you have your 15 watt PoE port where you can connect your access points, security cameras or other things. So now we can move on to UniFi Express. This has been replaced with Wi-Fi 7 variant. So the old model used to have Wi-Fi 6 support, 1 gigabit LAN connection, and it allowed around 60 devices to connect to this router. Now they released UniFi Express 7, which obviously has Wi-Fi 7, 6 gigahertz support, and you can connect 300 devices to this thing. And if that is not enough, you also get 2.5 gigabit port and 10 gigabit port. UniFi Express 7 or UX7 cost $199, cheaper than Dream Router 7, because obviously it doesn't have that many features. UniFi Express 7 is made to be simpler. It's basically access point. You can run it on its own and have your UniFi network, which covers around 1,500 feet, or you can link multiple devices like this together, link them together and extend the coverage. But it doesn't have things like surveillance and other smart things built in, but it does have network capabilities. So let's go through highlights what this UniFi Express 7 has that previous version didn't have. And as I said, it's Wi-Fi 7 and 6 GHz support. 3-band, you can switch between 2.4, 5 or 6. So again, connect your smart IoT devices, old Wi-Fi devices, low power consumption running devices, or Wi-Fi 5 devices, 5 GHz, or your Wi-Fi 6E or Wi-Fi 7 phones like iPhone or other devices. The top speed you can get through 6 GHz frequency is 5.7 GHz. Again, it's faster than LAN. You also get 10 gigabit WAN support. So if you have incredibly fast internet, you can connect that, or you can use that port for something else like fast NAS or other 10 gigabit switch. Otherwise, you can use 2.5 gig LAN ports to connect your laptops or other devices. And you can also connect more devices to this switch, router, access point. Instead of 30, you can connect more than 300 devices. Or if you want to create a UniFi environment, you can connect 50 UniFi devices together using this router. This device also has more RAM. It's 3 GB RAM, faster CPU, 1.5 GHz, instead of 1 GB memory and 1 GHz CPU that you used to have on the old device. It also has better VPN support, better firewall and security, and you can power it through 5 volts USB. And finally, it has more Wi-Fi antennas. So this allows so many connections to be established at the same time at different frequencies. And the last thing that's replaced is this Cloud Gateway Max, which is also like smart switch. You can connect this to your broadband and manage your private network or connect other switches to this thing. Now it's called Cloud Gateway Fiber. It costs also $279 like the previous version, but it's so much better. As you can see, previous version had 5 2.5 gigabit ports. Now you also get extra RJ45 10 gigabit port and 2 optical SFP plus 10 gigabit ports. So 3 10 gigabit ports. That's why it's called Gateway Fiber. So we've previously mentioned Dream Router 7 and UniFi Express 7 were Wi-Fi based switches, access points, routers. Then Cloud Gateway Fiber doesn't have Wi-Fi. This is only cables, switch, smart switch with 10 gigabit ports and 2.5 gigabit ports. You can still use it to manage your network. You don't need to have Wi-Fi. Maybe businesses will focus more on the wired connections rather than Wi-Fi. So this is your opportunity. It costs $279 and it gives you this 10 gigabit experience and UniFi admin panel user interface. So just to show you what's new about this new Gateway Fiber, it has 10 gigabit upgrade. Now you have these 3 10 gigabit ports. It has 2 times faster IDS/IPS performance, 5 gigabits per second throughput. It has higher network capacity, so you can link together 50 UniFi devices, or you can connect 500 client devices like laptops and other devices. It also has PoE port to power devices up to 30 watts. The previous version didn't have this port. So you can connect your cameras, your access points, other switches, something that is powered by PoE. This device can also be used for surveillance. If you connect your cameras, it has NVMe slot inside. You can have up to 2 terabytes of storage inside this thing. It also has faster CPU, 2.2 GHz instead of 1.5 GHz. Has more MAC address table entries. Also has expanded VPN SD-WAN features and more advanced security, but it has higher power consumption, but obviously because of PoE support. If you want to read more about differences and the features, you can go to NASComP's article. I'm going to put this in description so you can figure out which product is for you. Is there worth upgrading your previous model if you purchased a older device? Otherwise, if you want to see review in details for every of these products released, let me know or follow me and you'll be notified when the video like that comes out. Otherwise, thank you for watching and see you next time.